नमो भगवते धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः।
श्रीनिवासो विजयते समस्तजननी वन्दे चैतन्यस्तन्यदायिनी श्रेयसी श्रीनिवासस्य करुणामिव रूपिणी गुरोरधीताखिलवैद्यविद्यः पीयूषपाणिः कुशलः क्रियासु गतस्पृहो धैर्यधरः कृपालुः शुद्धोऽधिकारी विषगीदृशस्य शरीरे जर्जरीभूते व्याधिग्रस्ते कळेबरे औषधं जाह्नवीतोऽयं वैद्यो नारायणो हरिः।
Now I will sing NMO mantra. Natvaham kamaye rajyam न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं कामये दुःखतत्तानां ప్రాణినామార్తినాశనం. నాకు ఈ రాజ్యము వద్దు, ఈ స్వర్గము వద్దు. సో ఈ జీవితంలో నేను ఈ పేదలకి, ఎవరైతే పెయిన్ అండ్ సఫరింగ్ వాళ్ళకి నేను నా జీవితాంతం సేవ చేస్తాను అని దాని మీనింగ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓం నమో వెంకటేశాయ. గురుభ్యో నమః. రెస్పెక్టెడ్ డైరెక్టర్ ఆర్వి కుమార్ సార్, ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఉషా కలవత్ మేడం, ప్రొఫెసర్ వనజా మేడం and Professor Sharwani madam, distinguished faculty members, dear colleagues and students, I welcome you all on the auspicious eve of Dhanvantri Jayanti, a day dedicated to honoring the Lord Dhanvantri, the divine physician and the god of medicine. And I begin this by invoking his blessings by a sloka: Sarvebhyah Sarva Rogebhyah Sarva Santapa Harine Sarvagna Adi Devaya Dhanvantaraya Namo Namaha. Salutations to Lord Dhanvantari, the healing of all diseases, the remover of suffering, and the embodiment of all knowledge. Today, as we celebrate the Dhanvantari, we not only pay homage to the ancient knowledge, but also we recognize the wisdom embedded in the teachings. To understand the wisdom of ancient knowledge in relevance to the modern science, we should go back to the ancient tale with the timeless meaning of us today, the Shira Sagara Madanam, the churning of the cosmic oceans. Both the gods and demons united in ultimate quest for the Amrita, the nectar for the immortality. Amid this epic endeavor, Lord Dhanvantari emerged carrying a pot of Amrita and healing herbs, a symbol of life, vitality, and well-being offered to the world. Now, let us talk about the quest of the modern medicine. Aren't we churning the cosmic ocean too? Today in the medicine and science, we tirelessly seek to unlock these life secrets, aim to prolong the health and reduce the suffering and understand the forces that sustain us. So every discovery and breakthrough uncovers the treasures, truths about the health, disease, and the human body. This is nothing but the same pursuit which our Devatas and Asuras took in the quest of Amrita. We all have we all are the traveling in the same quest, that is for the ultimate aim of prolonging health and reducing the suffering. The ancient churning of Amrita also mirrors our modern pursuit. There is a shared goal of life which is free from the suffering, the ultimate aim of each and every innovation and the discovery. And the emergence of Dhanvantari embodies this wisdom. It is nothing but the connection between the health, nature, disease, and the cure, the wisdom of health and healing. So if you see the iconography and symbolism of the Lord Dhanvantari, and we think whether we can associate with the modern principles of our modern medicines which we use in the in the ways of healing. If you see the Lord Dhanvantari, he has four hands. The four hands in each hand, the Dhanvantari holds symbols which represents the four pillars of healing: the diagnosis, the prognosis, the prevention, and the treatment. These are the same fundamental foundational steps that still guide our modern medicine. And if you see, Lord Dhanvantari holds a leech in one hand, often associated with bloodletting, and it is considered as earlier medical intervention. But however, if you deeply analyze the symbol, it symbolizes nothing but the precision in the medicine practice. It embodies the careful removal of harmful elements from the body. Thus, it represents the expertise in surgery, detoxification, and therapeutic techniques, which are the essential techniques which we are following in the modern medicine. So, and again, if you consider one more hand which has the Amrita part, the part of nectar or Amrita, which symbolizes the ultimate goal of the medicine, that is ultimate healing and freedom from disease. As a modern practitioners, it stands as a reminder to focus on primary, secondary, and tertiary preventions, that is restoring the balance, not just to cure, but to enhance the quality of life of the patients. And if you see the conch, the shanka, and chakra, these are not just the arms, but the conch represents the resonance and energy balance within the body, which symbolizes that the body has a natural frequencies and reflects that the importance of aligning these energies to detect and restore harmony, an approach integrated in modern diagnostic and therapeutic practices from ultrasound to the MRIs. And chakra, the chakra or the discus represents the energy and the balance. The chakra symbolize it is not a weapon, but it represents the cycles of metabolisms and bodily functions, essentially what we learn as a homeostasis. It highlights the cyclical nature and interconnectedness of vital processes, emphasizing the importance and maintenance of equilibrium within the body, a fundamental tenet which is embraced by modern medicine. And if you see what is the relevance of Dhanvantari's teaching in the modern medicine, so I have three primary lessons from Lord Dhanvantari. One is the continual pursuit of knowledge, which I like to associate with the Shigara Sagara Madanam, which reflects our own journey in medicine, which is a continuous journey, a quest of understanding and the knowledge that requires persistence, and it is a journey filled with struggles and challenges. However, this tale also reminds us of two parts, the Devas and the Asuras. The Devas representing the people who seek knowledge with the noble intentions and aim, and try to protect and uplift the world. And in contrast, Asuras, driven by the self interest, represent those who gain the knowledge for personal gain and often prioritize profit over welfare of the society. As we embark on our journey of knowledge, we may be inspired to emulate the Devas, using our insights and advancement in a way to uplift and benefit all. And preventive health, just as the nectar symbolizes the longevity, Dhanvantari's teachings emphasize preventive health measures. In our practice, this calls for the promoting lifestyle changes and encourages the early screenings and educating our patients on maintaining holistic health. which also aligns our ancient wisdom with the modern preventive medicine. And also, Dhanvantari's teachings represent the holistic care that his healing should be encompass body, mind, and soul. Our responsibility extends beyond the treating diseases, and it is all about providing the comprehensive care that addresses the emotional and social dimensions of the health. As we celebrate the Dhanvantari Divas, let us all reflect on the timeless principles of Dhanvantari. We all may be inspired by Lord Dhanvantari's example to become not only skilled clinicians but compassionate healers dedicated in well-being of the humanity. May his blessings guide us in our journey as we strive to bring the nectar of healing to all those who deserve. Thank you.
ఎస్వి మెడికల్ కాలేజ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ పీజీ స్టూడెంట్స్ యూజీ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్నారు మన కాలేజ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ.
Thank you, sir. I would like to call upon Director cum Vice Chancellor, sir, to provide his valuable insights.
Om Namo Venkatesaya. Welcome to this auspicious occasion of Dhanvantari Jayanti. Namo Dhanvantare. Yes, just now told you how Dhanvantari is relevant to contemporary medicine. That reminds me of my MBBS days when my professor of pathology first presented a lecture on history of medicine. In that, Dr. Shyamala Bhaskaran, she was one of the very great pathologists. She has shown a cave doctor, the doctor in cave who used to be there. And then during that lecture, she told one of the ancient doctor, he says, I only bandage and God heals. This was the belief of the earlier surgeons before the dawn of the modern medicine. It's a very insightful statement. It's not a dogmatic statement because, see, for the same headache, you give, paracetamol to 10 people, it differs. Same person, 10 times headache, you give the same medicine, it differs. So what does that mean? That means there is something inside which is special to each one of us, and that is one which contributes to healing. So that such a profound message was their understanding even for the cave doctor. Now again we are talking about the same thing. Actually, if you look at Ayurveda also, they go by individualized medicine. For every disease, they don't prescribe same medicine like allopathy now we are doing. Similarly in homeopathy, there is a lot of study of one's own nature of the body and this one, and different medicines are prescribed for same condition for different individuals and to same individual at different points of time. That is because there is a necessity for what we call personalized medicine or a precision medicine. Now we are talking about taking it one step further, at least in some diseases, wherein we are going to study the genetic makeup of the patient and decide the treatment based on the genetic makeup of the patient. Already it is in vogue, what they call it as precision medicine. So the cycle is now complete from the cave doctor to current day doctor, where this personalized element is something very important. So with that brief introduction, we just move on to Dhanvantari, what he has to offer to us. Dhanvantari means two things. One is to the doctors and another thing is to the patients. We need to look at those both perspectives. For the doctors, for example, Now I have been practicing cardiac surgery for last 40 years. Every single day when I start my day or even when I start my first case, I always offer prayer to the God, primum no nocere. If I cannot do good to the patient, oh God, at least see that I don't harm him. Because in cardiac surgery, sometimes we take decisions in split second time, which may kill a patient or which may save a patient. How do I rationally decide which decision is right, which decision is wrong? So that's why we offer this prayer to something higher than us, that, you know, lead us onto the correct path. Let me make a correct decision, use a correct technique, so that if I can't do improve the condition of the patient, at least it should not be worse than what we started. That the treatment should not be worse than the disease. So that is how for doctors it is very important, because unless we constantly remember that, there is a tendency of complacency. So that is as far as the doctors are concerned. Coming to the patients, what happens if you see the entire disease spectrum? If the problem is around about 10%, or 90% of it is the reaction to that particular situation. You get some problem, you start thinking, why only to me? So many people are there. What have I done? Like that it goes on multiplying, which worsens the misery. So somebody wisely said that problems are inevitable, but suffering is optional. Everybody can have a problem, but you have to make a choice whether you want to suffer from it or not. So the Sanatana Dharma has a kind of a solution to it, because you see this Bhagavan is he is the originator of Ayurveda. The Sanatana Dharma means Vedic Dharma, and it's called Ayurveda. It's one of the subsidiary of the original 4 Vedas. It has been given such a high this one. So how does Veda look at human suffering? That is something very important, which all of you young minds should know, that we are not promoting Dhanvantari just out of blind faith or anything. Before that also, I would like to tell you something very important. The concept of this God in Hinduism. Just I want to clarify this, because for Hindus, Ganga is a god. You go to a peepal tree, it is a god. You go to a snake, it is a god. Then come to your own body, eyes have a god, tongue has a god, which means that to the physical universe, there is something more than the physical, which runs the system. I have eyes. Just presence of eyes, I won't be able to see. There is something more to this. So inside me, which makes me see and interpret. Now, as doctors, you all know that you have optic nerves, some chemicals happening, some action potentials generating. We know up to that much. But how does that translate into the perception or consciousness? Nobody could figure out as yet. So the rishis of Sanatana Dharma have named this principle beyond what we see as God. So each one of this, so everything is a God. That's why people say there are 30,000 crores of gods for in Sanatana Dharma. That is because we differentiate this. Everything has a physical component and has a spiritual component. When you say Ganga, we are not saying the water. there is what is called as, in technical terms in Sanatana Dharma, it is called as Adhisthana. That Adhisthana in common language is called as God. So any spiritual entity beyond the physical, this one is called the God. Now, how is it relevant to our medicine today? This is not only to patients, it's also important to us as persons. Why this is important is this Sanatana Dharma, especially this part of which I am going to tell you, is called as Vedanta. Vedanta means the later portion, the knowledge portion. The beginning portion of the Vedas deal with the ritualistic worship, how to worship God, how to perform yajnas, etc. But the later part of Vedas is completely a packet of knowledge. Those what is called as Upanishads, otherwise collectively called as Vedanta. So I am going to tell you just a couple of techniques and how they are relevant to medicine and suffering. Suffering, one is from your diseases and all, and there are other sufferings, social sufferings and emotional and other, so many other sufferings. So one basic course is what is called as Drig Drishya Viveka. This is a technique in Vedanta. This is very simple. Though Vedanta people think it is too complicated, abstract, you will see when I present how simple and how relevant it is. The Vedanta divides the entire phenomenal world into two, Druk and Drishya. Druk means the one who is seeing. Drishya means this entire what you are seeing. It says you differentiate everything, every problem, everything you encounter. You differentiate whether it falls into the field of Druk or Drishya. The reason is Drishya, whatever you see, it changes. Like for example, if you see, they start with a very small exercise of taking eye. This is a 3-level experiment. The first level is, you see, the eye is considered as the Druk and the rest of the phenomenal world is considered as the Drishyam. So you have multiple things. I see so many of you. I see the fan. I see this. There is a multiplicity. Not only multiplicity, now you have come, after 1 hour meeting is over, you are going. But my faculty of seeing is constant. So that is the difference between the seer and the seen. Seer is constant, whereas that. Then they say, go to the next step. See, sometimes you get a cataract, or sometimes you get some conjunctivitis. You may not be able to see properly, or you get sight. You may not see properly. So you conclude that sometimes you see well, sometimes you can't see well. Who is telling you that kind of a knowledge? So there is a mind inside which tells you my vision is good, my vision is not good, etc. So the Drishyam becomes the eye and the Druk becomes the mind. Then they say you go back, go further into, deeper into yourself. So then you say, you get up in the morning, let's say I had a good sleep. Then sometimes you say I feel tired. Sometimes you feel I am feeling very enthusiastic. Who is watching the mind? So here mind becomes the Drishyam and the something inner is the Druk, the one which is watching. So what happens? The mind becomes the Drishyam. All these things are changing, feelings, but the one constant is constant, it's non-changing. So what is it? That is called by different names. In this methodology, it is called Drik, and a lot of other systems call it as Sakshi, and other systems call Atma, others call it as God. That unchanging principle in you. Another small example is, you were a small kid, then you used to say I, then you Then you had different types of feelings, basic feeling like hunger and sleep, and you've grown, you've become bigger. Then again, you say I, but your physique has changed, your activity has changed, you start going to school, so many other activities. Then you become a bigger one. Again, you call yourself I, but the body is now 60 kilograms and different features. Then after that, some more time. So there is a changing thing, and at the same time, there is something unchanging which is reverberating in you called as I. So, which means this I is constant, it is not changing. The body is changing, the feelings and other things are changing. So, this Viveka means the wisdom. So, you separate them because the problems are coming. Where are the problems? You have a physical problem, it is to the body, it is not to you. Similarly, if something is a problem with your mind, you feel anger, you realize, it's your mind is getting angry, not you. This is a simple exercise. You train yourself saying that I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am something deeper, I am unchanging, I am not affected by any changes happening to my body or my mind. This looks very simple. Only thing is, if you keep on practicing, the body starts to recognize that language. What is the relevance of this language? The relevance of this language is that people you see with cancer, Dr. Pranabandhu is there pioneering in the palliative medicine. You can't cure it. Several of the end stage heart disease, end stage liver disease, end stage kidney disease, some may get lucky, few may get a transplant, but transplant has its own set of problems. So you develop this kind of an attitude that I am not this body, this kind of a dissociation from the body and mind, the suffering of the disease becomes less. You may or may not be able to eliminate the disease, but the suffering part definitely comes down. Why I am saying is, we have some documented people who pioneered this technique, and even in recent times, it is told about Mahatma Gandhi when he had to have an appendectomy. He said, I don't want anesthesia. He was able to disconnect that body part and say that he was able to look at as if I am looking at the picture or a camera, like that. He was able to look at his body and he didn't feel the pain of this one. There was no necessity for anesthesia. So you are looking at somebody with a terminal cancer or other terminal illnesses, and you adopt this methodology, you develop a healthy dissociation with what is happening to the body, what is happening to the mind, and then that will reduce the suffering. Disease cannot be eliminated, but the suffering can be mitigated and brought to a very small tolerable levels with minimal medication that improves the quality of life tremendously. First time when I went to a ward in England, and I was taking a round in the morning, and I asked one patient of carcinoma lung, how are you doing? He said, champion, and I'm doing very well. That is what makes the difference. This fellow has stage 4 cancer. But that kind of, when you develop a dissociation, they enjoy whatever is there in the quality of life. Thus, the Sanatana Dharma has a lot to offer to the current medicine. Don't think it is dogma. You go into the depths and realize the science it offers. So, like as I told you, as a doctors, when we consider ourselves just as an instrument in the hand of God, then you are not worried about what happens. I concentrate on my surgical technique. I am not worried about the outcome. So that way I give my best when I am operating. The same thing happens to you. Somebody, you are working in a EMD, some sick person comes, he is panicking, his relatives are panicking, you also start panicking, then you will not be able to give him the best. You will give him the best only when you think you are equanimous, undisturbed, and be a 100% professional. So that kind of attitude will come when you align with Dhanvantari or whosoever the higher self you are regarding. Same thing with patience and suffering, I told you in a detailed way, and that is how the nectar, Amrita, what is portrayed in his hand is nothing but that this wisdom of separating the unchanging with the changing. So if you are able, that knowledge itself is the Amrita. So it's not something physical. Just for understanding sake or for meditation, they have given a form and they have given a pot and some kind of a nectar. But what is the true nectar? True nectar is to realize that you are the unchanging self. You are not this physical body which undergoes change. You are not the mind which undergoes turbulences. But there is something inside you which is constant, which is stable, and which is equanimous. It doesn't waver. So that knowledge is the nectar. So try and work on that. This is one technique I told you. There are some more techniques. Like in the beginning, they chanted Omkara thrice. That again means the same thing. They went into the depths of the consciousness. There is a Upanishad called Mandukya Upanishad, one of the shortest ones with 12 mantras, which deals with this subject. It, like what we have seen in the body in the earlier example, the first Om represents the physical body, the second Om represents the mind, and the third one represents a consciousness, a deep sleep consciousness. Like you undergo deep sleep, non-REM sleep, you are not aware, you are not conscious. But after you get up, you say, I had a good sleep, I didn't have a good sleep. Who is telling you that I am not a good sleep? So that means there is a consciousness in you which is beyond the waking, which is beyond the dreams, and which is beyond the deep sleep. That consciousness is what is called as Atma or Dhanvantari or whatever, Amrita, whatever. Different people have given different names to it. So by these techniques, you realize this knowledge, and this knowledge is the real true Amrita. And I hope I stimulated some thinking in you. Maybe some of you who are interested, we may take you further in subsequent occasions. And thank you very much, madam, for calling me for this. And may God bless you all with this wisdom of Drigdrishya Viveka, so that you enjoy your life. Not only you enjoy your life, you will be very useful to the society. Thank you all.
रामभद्र रघुवीर रविवंश तिलक रामभद्र रघुवीर रविवंश तिलक नी नामवे कामधेनुः रामभद्र रघुवीर रविवंश तिलक नी नामवे कामधेनुः नमो रामभद्र रघुवीर कौसल्यानन्दवर्धन घन दशरथ सुता भासुर यज्ञ रक्षक भरताग्रज कौसल्यानन्दवर्धन घन दशरथसुता भासुरयज्ञरक्षक भरताग्रजा रासिक्यक्क कोदण्डरचन विद्या गुरुवा रासिक्यक्क कोदण्डरचन विद्या गुरुवा వాసితో అసురలో నిను వడిమే చేరయ్యా రామభద్ర రఘువీర మారీచ సుబాహు మర్ధన తాటకాంతక దారుణ వీరశేఖర ధర్మపాలక మారీచ సుబాహు మర్ధన తాటకాంతక దారుణ వీరశేఖర ధర్మపాలక కారుణ్యరత్నాకర కాకాసురవరద కారుణ్యరత్నాకర కాకాసురవరద సారకు వేద విధులు జయబెట్టెలయ్యా రామభద్ర రఘువీర సీతారమణ రాజశేఖర శిరోమణి భూతల పుటయోధ్య పుర నిలయ సీతారమణ రాజశేఖర శిరోమణి భూతల పుటయోధ్య పుర నిలయ ఈతల శ్రీ వెంకటాద్రి నెరవైన రాఘవ ఈతల శ్రీ వెంకటాద్రి నెరవైన రాఘవ ఘాతని ప్రతాపమెల్ల కడు నిండేరయ్యా ఈతల శ్రీ వెంకటాద్రి నెరవైన రాఘవ ఘాత నీ ప్రతాపమెల్ల కడు నిండేరయ్యా రామభద్ర రఘువీర రవివంశ తిలక నీ నామమే కామధేనువు నమో రామభద్ర రఘువీర రవివంశ తిలక నీ నామమే కామధేనువు నమో రామభద్ర రఘువీర థ్యాంక్ యూ మ్యామ్
గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే గోవిందాయని కొలువరే గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే గోవిందాయని కొలువరే గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే హరి అచ్యుతాయని పాడరే పురుషోత్తమాయని పొగడరే హరి అచ్యుతాయని పాడరే పురుషోత్తమాయని పొగడరే పరమ పురుషాయని పలుకరే పరమ పురుషాయని పలుకరే సిరిమరయనుచును చెరగరే జనులు గోవింద 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 హరి గోవింద గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే గోవిందాయని కొలువరే గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే కొలువరే పాండవ వరదాయని పాడరే అండజవాహనుని కొనియాడరే పాండవ వరదాయని పాడరే అండజవాహనుని కొనియాడరే కొండల రాయనుని కోరరే కొండల రాయనుని కోరరే దండిత మాధవుని తలచరే జనులు గోవింద 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 హరి గోవింద గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే గోవిందాయని కొలువరే శ్రీ విభుడని తెలియరే శోభలయనంతుని చూడరే దేవుడు శ్రీ విభుడని తెలియరే శోభలయనంతుని చూడరే శ్రీ వెంకటనాథుని చేరరే శ్రీ వెంకటనాథుని చేరరే పావనమైనముడు బతుగరే జనులు గోవింద 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 హరి గోవింద 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 హరి గోవింద 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 గోవిందయని కొలువరే గోవిందాయని కొలువరే గోవింద గోవిందయని కొలువరే నమదేవ కీర్తన కరి ప్రేమ వర్ణాచ పాండురంగా నమదేవ కీర్తన కరి ప్రేమ వర్ణాచ పాండురంగా జనాభాయి మనే దేవా బోలో బంగా జనాభాయి మనే దేవా బోలో బంగా నమదేవ కీర్తన కరి ప్రేమ వర్ణాచ పాండురంగా నమదేవ కీర్తన కరి ప్రేమ వర్ణాచ పాండురంగా అభంగ బోధక కీర్తనే రంగ ఓటవాడ అభంగ బోధక కీర్తనే రంగ ఓటవాడ ప్రేమాచియ సంగే దేవనాచుల కాల ప్రేమాచియ సంగే దేవనాచుల కాల నమదేవ కీర్తన కరి ప్రేమ వర్ణాచ పాండురంగా నాచ పాండురంగా రంగా నాచ పాండురంగా నాచత ढोलत देवाचा कलल पीतांबरा नाचत हरे ढोलत हरे नाचत ढोलत देवाचा कलल पीतांबरा नाचत ढोलत देवाचा कलल पीतांबरा जन्म मरणापासून मुक्त करिके विठेबाई नमदेव कीर्तन करी प्रेम वर्णाच पांडुरंगा नाच पांडुरंगा रंगा नाच पांडुरंगा नाच पांडुरंगा रंगा नाच पांडुरंगा नामयाचे जने लोले संतचे पायी नामयाचे जने लोले संतचे पायी जन्म मरणापासून मुक्त करिके विठेबाई नमदेव हरि नमदेव हरि नमदेव कीर्तन करी प्रेम वर्णाच पांडुरंगा नाच पांडुरंगा रंगा नाच पांडुरंगा
वरलीला गानलोल वरलीला गानलोल सुरपाल सुगुणजान भरित नील गण हृदालय श्रुति मूल सुकरुणाल वाल पालया सुमा वरलीला गानलोल सुरपाल सुगुणजान भरित नील गण हृदालय श्रुति मूल सुकरुणाल वाल पालया सुमा वरलीला गानलोल सुरवन्दिताप्त वृन्द वरमन्दर धर सुन्दर कर कुन्दर धन इंदु मुख सनन्दन नुत नन्द नन्दने दिरावर सुरवन्दिताप्त वृन्द वरमन्दर धर सुन्दर कर कुन्दर धन इंदु मुख सनन्दन नुत नन्द नन्दने दिरावर वरलील गानलोल सुखवीश हृन्निवेश जगदीश कुभव पाश रहित शीश सुर गणेश हित जलेश शयन केशवाश मीश दुर्लभ सुखवीश हृन्निवेश जगदीश कुभव पाश रहित शीश सुर गणेश हित जलेश शयन केशवाश मीश दुर्लभ वरलील गानलोल रणधीर सर्वसार సుకుమార బుధ విహార ధనుజ ధీరధర సమీరణ కరుణ రస పరిపూర్ణ ధార చోర పాహి మాం రణధీర సర్వసార సుకుమార బుధ విహార ధనుజ ధీరధర సమీరణ కరుణ రస పరిపూర్ణ ధార చోర పాహి మాం వరలీల గానలోల నరదక్ష నీరజాక్ష వరదాక్ష కమల శిక్షక సుర యక్ష సనక రుక్ష పతి నృతాక్ష హరణ పక్ష దక్ష శిక్షక ప్రియ నరరక్ష నీరజాక్ష వరరాక్ష కమల శిక్షక సుర యక్ష సనక రుక్ష పతి నృతాక్ష హరణ పక్ష దక్ష శిక్షక ప్రియ రఘురాజ త్యాగరాజ నుతరాజ దివసరాజ నయన బోధక గవరాజ జనక రాజ సుత విరాజ రాజ రాజ పూజిత రఘురాజ త్యాగరాజ నుతరాజ దివసరాజ నయన బోధక గవరాజ జనక రాజ సుత విరాజ రాజ రాజ పూజిత వరలీల గానలోల సురపాల సుగుణదాల భరిత నీల గణ హృదాలయ శృతి మూల సుకరుణాల బాల పాలయ సుమా వరలీల గానలోల వరలీల గానలోల వరలీల గానలోల. థ్యాంక్ యూ మ్యామ్.
అందరికీ ఓం నమో వెంకటేశాయ. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈరోజు ఇక్కడ మనం అందరం సమావేశం అయ్యామంటే దానికి ప్రధాన కారణం ధన్వంతరి జయంతి. యాక్చువల్గా ఇంతవరకు కూడా ధన్వంతరి జయంతి సెలబ్రేషన్స్ అనేటివి ఇక్కడ తిరుమల తిరుపతి దేవస్థానం ఆధ్వర్యంలో జరుగుతున్నాయి అని అనుకుంటున్నాము. బట్ ఈసారి ఏంటంటే ఎస్పిఎంసి అండ్ ఎస్పిఎంసి ఇద్దరు కలిపి ఇక్కడ అందరు స్టూడెంట్స్ కూడా ఇక్కడ వచ్చి ఈ ధన్వంతరి జయంతి వేడుకల్లో పాల్గొనడం చాలా ఆనందంగా ఉంది. సో దీనికి అందరికీ కూడా ధన్యవాదాలు. రెండవ విషయం ఏంటంటే ఈసారి ఎన్ఎంఓ నేషనల్ మెడికల్స్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లాస్ట్ మార్చిలో మోదకొండమ్మ సేవా యాత్ర అని పాడేరులో కండక్ట్ చేశారు. దానికి మన స్టూడెంట్స్ చాలా మంది కూడా అటెండ్ అవ్వడం జరిగింది. మోదకొండమ్మ సేవా యాత్రలో ఏంటంటే మీకు ట్రైబల్ పీపుల్ తోటి వాళ్ళ లివింగ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళ కల్చర్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమి డిసీజెస్ ఉంటాయి అవన్నీ కూడా మీరు కొంచెం చూడొచ్చు డైరెక్ట్ గా. సో అక్కడ ఏంటంటే ఆ సేవాయాత్రలో వాళ్ళ ఇంట్లోనే ఒక రోజు మీరు బస చేస్తారు. అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు లివ్ విత్ దెమ్ వన్ డే. హౌ ద పీపుల్ ఆర్, వాళ్ళకి ఎలా ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళ న్యూట్రిషన్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమి డిసీజెస్ ఉంటాయి, వాళ్ళ నుంచి మనకి వాళ్ళ ఏ విధంగా మనం వాళ్ళకి సర్వ్ చేయొచ్చు అనేది మెయిన్ ప్రధాన ఉద్దేశం. రెండోది ఈసారి అల్లూరి సీతారామరాజు స్వాస్థ్య సేవా యాత్ర అనే ఒక ప్రోగ్రామ్ నవంబర్ 8, 9, 18 అది కూడా జరుపుతున్నాము. ఎవరైనా మెడికల్ స్టూడెంట్స్ కానీ ఫ్యాకల్టీ కానీ ఎవరైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే కన్నా నన్ను కాంటాక్ట్ చేయండి, నేను మీకు గైడ్ చేస్తాను. నవంబర్ 8, 9, 10 3 రోజులు ఉంటుంది. అది చింతపల్లి దగ్గర, ఇట్ ఈస్ నర్సీపట్నం, నియర్ బై నర్సీపట్నం అనేది మనకు దగ్గరగా ఉంటుంది స్టేషన్, అంటే కమ్యూనికేషన్కి. సో ఎవరైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఓం నమో వెంకటేశాయ. ఓం శ్రీ ధన్వంతరి నమః. We bow to Lord Dhanvantari, the divine physician, the embodiment of health and healing. It is with immense gratitude that I stand here on behalf of NMO Tirupati unit on this auspicious occasion, where we celebrate the spirit of healing and wellness and the formation of NMO with esteemed dignitaries, faculty, students, and organizers. I extend my deepest gratitude to our Director cum Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.V. Kumar sir, who has been a guiding light and has constantly encouraged us to uphold the highest standards in healthcare and education. We are immensely grateful to sir for the inspiring words and support that have made today possible. Our heartfelt thanks to Dean Dr. Alari Mohan sir, Registrar Dr. Aparna Bitla madam, and MS Dr. Ram sir for their guidance in organizing this event. A special note of thanks to Principal Dr. Usha Kalawat madam for her support and collaboration, ensuring active participation and enthusiasm from the students and faculty. We are grateful to all the students, residents, and faculty from SPMC and the SIMS SPMCW for being here and making this event more vibrant and meaningful. A special note of gratitude to our NMI Tirupati members for their dedication in organizing this gathering. And we would like to thank Dr. Jonathan sir, Tirupati IMA President, and Dr. Naresh sir from BJP wing. Our appreciation extends to the IT and audiovisual teams whose technical expertise made everything run smoothly, and to the many hands behind the scenes for all the arrangements here. Finally, I thank each one of you for your presence here today. Let us continue to walk the path inspired by Lord Dhanvanchari, serving humanity with compassion, knowledge, and dedication. Thank you, Ananda.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यतु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ नमो भगवते धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते धन्वन्तरये अमृतकलशहस्ताय सर्वामयविनाशनाय त्रैलोक्यनाथाय श्रीमहाविष्णवे नमः।